while you're dropping $14 on Uber Eats and convincing yourself that building wealth is something you'll figure out later, your future self is literally begging you to pay attention. Let me tell you that if you start investing just $100 a month at 22, you could retire with twice as much as someone who starts at 35, investing 5 times more. That's not even a motivational quote, it's math. Every month you wait in your 20s could cost you tens of thousands in future wealth. In this video, I'll break down exactly how to build real wealth in your 20s without needing a finance degree. So hit subscribe and let's get into it. Chapter 1. Start investing. Let's talk about how you're losing money every single day by not investing now. Consider this. If you start saving just $10 a day at age 25, by the time you're 65, you could have around $602,000. But what if you put it off for just 10 years and start at 35? You'd only end up with about $249,000. That's a staggering $353,000 less, all for waiting a decade. That's the sheer force of consistent saving and compounding. So what is compound interest? Compound interest is the process where your money earns interest, then that interest earns more interest, and the cycle keeps repeating. Over time, this snowballs into serious wealth. That's why the sooner you begin, the more dramatically your money can grow. And compound interest is just one way to invest. I'll be explaining other ways to invest in Chapter 6 of this video. But let me warn you about something. The irony of building wealth is that even if you start investing in your 20s, you'll likely get so hooked on watching your money multiply that you'll end up thinking, why the hell didn't I start at 18? The next step is breaking the myths. Chapter 2. Break the perfection myth. I know waiting for the perfect time to start investing feels safe, but it's a trap that keeps you stuck. As Netflix co-founder Mark Randolph once said, you'll learn more in 1 hour of doing something than in 3 months of thinking about it. And how true is that? Because too many people spend months researching the perfect stock, the ideal time to invest, or the best budgeting app. But honestly, wealth is built by those who take action, not those who wait until everything is risk-free. You need to understand this. It won't be perfect when you start. You might make small mistakes, that's fine. What matters more is momentum. Get basic financial education, make a plan, and start with what you have. Eventually, doing something imperfectly today is better than doing nothing for years while you wait to feel ready. Chapter 3. Don't be a financial fortune teller. Here's where most young investors completely trip over their own feet with their money. They get this bright idea that they can outsmart everyone, essentially playing financial wizard by guessing exactly when to jump in and out of the stock market. The cold, hard reality is that you absolutely cannot do it, and neither can the highly paid experts. Look at it this way. Since 2003, if you'd simply bought a broad market index and held on to it, you would have cruised to roughly a 10% annual return. Sounds pretty good, right? But hear me out. If you got clever and somehow managed to miss just the 10 best trading days over those 2 decades, that's a tiny fraction. Only 10 days out of thousands of trading days. That means your impressive 10% return would plummet to a pathetic 5.6%. And if you were really unlucky or smart enough to miss the best 30 days, you'd essentially be losing money after inflation eats away at your meager gains. This is precisely why the average individual investor consistently falls behind the very market they're trying to conquer. They're perpetually buying when optimism is peaking and prices are high, only to panic and sell at the absolute bottom. It's the financial equivalent of shooting yourself in the foot, repeatedly. The solution to this is to automate your investments, block out all the sensational headlines, and crush that delusional urge to prove you're smarter than the market, because honestly, you're not. Chapter 4. Zoom out to analyze. You're getting absolutely destroyed by financial anxiety, and it's also the reason that keeps you broke. Nearly half of Gen Z say they struggle with constant anxiety, and the top trigger is money or everyday expenses. And here are the crucial reasons they feel this way. Number 1. The social media comparison. You're scrolling through Instagram, seeing 22-year-olds with designer bags, luxury vacations, and perfect apartments, thinking everyone else has it figured out. Meanwhile, you're eating ramen and wondering if you'll ever afford a house. Number 2. The analysis paralysis problem. People today have access to more financial information than any generation in history, and it's making them worse with money. Let's get honest. You spend hours researching something and then end up doing nothing because you're overwhelmed by choices. Number 3, the housing market cope. Why bother investing when I'll never be able to afford a house anyway? This is the most expensive excuse you could possibly make as a young adult today. Sure, housing costs are astronomical, but throwing your hands up and abandoning wealth building because of it is like refusing to exercise because you can't afford a fancy gym. You're completely missing the bigger picture. Yes, rent is through the roof, student loan payments feel like a second mortgage, and inflation is relentlessly eating away at every dollar you earn, from your morning coffee to filling up your tank. But this isn't a reason to give up on investing. It's the undeniable, urgent reason why you absolutely must start investing. And start now. The next step is fixing your mindset. Chapter 5. Fix your mindset. People in their 20s often say they don't have time to learn about money or start a side hustle. But the same people usually spend hours a day on social media or watching Netflix. If you used even 1 hour a day to improve your skills or invest in your future, you'd see massive results over time. You don't need a complete lifestyle overhaul, just a shift in priorities. It's about a complete mindset reset. And this is how you can do it. 1. Shift your focus from cost to capability. When most folks eye something they want, their immediate reaction is to lament how expensive it is. Wealthy individuals, however, operate on a different frequency. Instead of fixating on the price tag, they instinctively brainstorm ways to make it affordable. This seemingly small mental pivot trains your brain to hunt for solutions, not roadblocks. That subtle shift in perspective becomes a game changer. 2. Master one skill. The quickest route to becoming valuable is to become exceptionally good at one skill. A 1976 study showed that if you want to excel at one skill, all you need is 100 hours, over a period of 1 year or 18 minutes a day to become 95% better than anybody. That mastery only blooms through relentless repetition, failing, refining, and trying again. It won't always be enjoyable, and it certainly won't always feel good, but it's the undeniable path to success. 3. Embrace the power of patience. Listen up. True wealth doesn't just materialize overnight. It's the direct consequence of persistent, steady effort, compounded over years. If you can train yourself to delay gratification and wait for substantial rewards instead of chasing butterflies, quick fixes, you'll rocket far ahead of the vast majority. Patience is the key. But here comes a million-dollar question. Where to invest? Chapter 6. Where to invest if you're just starting. Most people in their 20s know they should invest, but they don't because they have no idea where to begin. The good news is, you don't need to be a financial expert to get started. You just need to put your money in the right places consistently and let time do the heavy lifting. Now let's look at the 3 best places to invest your money in your 20s. 1. Low-cost index funds. If you want a simple, low-risk way to invest that works over the long term, index funds are your best friend. These are funds that track major stock market indexes like the S&P 500. That means when you buy into one, you're instantly spreading your money across hundreds of top companies like Apple, Amazon, and Google. Index funds are ideal for beginners because they don't require you to pick individual stocks. They have low fees, and they've historically returned about 8% to 10% per year. All you have to do is consistently invest in one every month. You don't need to check the market every day or become a stock-picking genius. Just set it, forget it, and let time work its magic. You can find S&P 500 index funds on platforms like Vanguard, Fidelity, or Schwab. These are all trusted, beginner-friendly places to start. 2. Roth IRA, especially if you're in the US. A Roth IRA is one of the most powerful investment tools available, and it's built specifically for long-term retirement savings. You put in money that's already been taxed, and when you retire, you can withdraw everything, your contributions and all your growth, completely tax-free. That means, if you start investing early and your account grows into 6 or even 7 figures, you get to keep every dollar. No taxes on the gains. That's a massive advantage. In 2025, you can contribute up to $7,000 per year to a Roth IRA if you're under 50. If you're making under $153,000 as a single person, you're eligible to contribute the full amount. A great strategy is to put your index fund investments inside your Roth IRA. This way, you're combining the benefits of both. 3. High-growth ETFs. Exchange-traded funds. If you're ready to take on a bit more risk for potentially higher rewards, look into ETFs focused on growth sectors like tech, healthcare, or clean energy. ETFs are like index funds, but they can be more specialized and flexible. Some popular growth ETFs include QQQ, tracks the Nasdaq 100, heavy on tech companies. VUG, focuses on large-cap growth stocks. ARKK, more aggressive, focused on innovation and future tech. Just be aware, growth ETFs can be more volatile. But if you're young, you have time on your side to ride out the ups and downs. Even putting a small portion of your investments into growth ETFs can help boost your long-term returns. Chapter 7. The strategy that works. Don't overthink it. Here's a simple plan you can follow. Open an account with a platform like Vanguard, Fidelity, or Schwab. Put $100 to $200 into a low-cost index fund inside a Roth IRA. Automate that contribution every month. Once you're consistent, add a small amount to a growth ETF if you want more upside. Leave it alone and let it grow. And if you think investing a little each month is enough to build real wealth, that's where most people get it wrong. Investing helps, yes, but it's not the whole game. If you want lasting wealth, you need to start building assets, businesses, real estate, intellectual property, things that generate income, appreciate over time, and don't rely on your hours to grow. Assets are what separate the wealthy from everyone else. Look, building wealth in your 20s isn't complicated, it's just uncomfortable. Stop waiting for the economy to be fair. Stop waiting for housing to be affordable. Stop waiting for your mental health to be perfect. Invest aggressively for 10 to 15 years. Build assets, make financial plans, save money, and you buy yourself decades of financial freedom. You have time, energy, and the ability to take risks. You'll never be this capable of building wealth again. The choice is yours. Your future self is watching, and they're either going to thank you or hate you for the decisions you make today. Thanks for watching.